Good evening, everyone, and this momentous occasion, because for the 400th time, welcome back once again to Vicious Rats. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious, and gonna go over Payback was in the ThunderDome. Still feels all fun saying it, just like Vince does. Now, before we get into the show, big bullet points that do need to get brought up. One thing that did get mentioned that, well, trying to think of the right way to phrase it. News that did occur was over the course of the weekend, wrestling legend Bullet Bob Armstrong passed. If those who may not be aware, he was the dad to one referee Scott Armstrong and Road Dogg Jesse James. You know, so I kind of grew up in that real funky time where I had all the modern day stuff on live TV, plus I was able to catch all the cool old school classic 70s and early 80s wrestling stuff on ESPN Classic, and I did get to see a handful of Bullet Bob Armstrong stuff. It's kind of sad because I did dig his work. And that aside, man, you know, it's always sad to hear when a legend goes. So much love and respect to the Armstrong family right now. On to some other news, and folks, I kid you not, this news broke about a good couple hours before we even sat down here in the Vicious Studios and started recording. We had to scribble out a couple production notes that we were going to mention for this week's episode to put this in. Yes, Wade, we'll do the chicken thing next week. Stay tuned. News did get announced during the episode of Raw that one Mauro Ranallo has officially severed ties with WWE in a peaceful manner. They met on a mutual agreement and you know, Mauro's now free. He's now putting more time focusing on taking care of his mother, which honestly is never a bad thing, you know. Where I grew up, family's everything, you know, you take care of your family. You don't go and do some shit-ass thing like try and put them in a halfway home, like put them in a nursing home or something. If you can help take care of them, do it. But also, news broke that apparently, according to the rumors and all of that jazz in the scuttlebutt, Brock Lesnar is now a free agent. His contract's up with WWE, this, that, and the other. And my personal 2 cents take, which equals about as much as anyone else's opinion. This all started just because of the simple fact WWE Shop took Brock's merch off of there, and people are now saying he's a free agent, this, that, and the other. Brock Lesnar is an attraction, okay? If they don't need to bill or market him, why do it? That's like putting Christmas stuff up in the middle of, at the beginning of June. Christmas is a big attraction. Do we need to have Christmas stuff up now? No, it's June. So, no need for it. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. It's just... Honestly, I thought it was funny. A lot of people were making jokes saying Brock's going to go and do this and this at the UFC, or, oh my God, what's Brock Lesnar doing in the Impact Zone? And all of this, that, and the other horse shit. But, honestly, just... the biggest thing I always constantly am pushing and emphasizing, man, just sit and wait to see what it is. Now with that said, let's go on into the show. Payback was again in the ThunderDome. So, pre-show match, it had Liv and Ruby bringing back once again the Riott squad against the IIconics, which I'll get to a very sad, touching thing about the IIconics in a moment, but as far as this match goes, the IIconics, they were leading. Liv and Ruby, you know, they had a little bit of apprehension with each other, which honestly, I fully dug, because it makes perfect sense. You don't just go from hating each other to, you know, back to being blood brothers and fighting side by side, shield by shield next to each other. No, you're going to have a little bit of, do I really want to work with this fucker again? Do I really trust you? Can I trust you? It's gives it more of a sense of reality, which isn't a bad thing. You know, and then there was at one point where Ruby got thrown into Liv, and Liv legit thought Ruby was trying to knock her down. She walked away from it, from the apron, was out on the ring like, When you saw Ruby reaching to go for the hot tag, Liv got the hot tag. They started cleaning up house, and then it was a decent match. Match came to an end. Liv Morgan hit the double knee, and then Ruby wound up hitting a Riott kick right onto Billie Kay. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Following night on Raw, they had a rematch with 2 stipulations in it, specifically. One, the winner faces the Women's Tag Champions at Clash of Champions at the end of September, and the other being that the losing team has to break up. Yeah, the IIconics lost, which... Not quite sure. Yeah, still, it's like that old Simpson. It's like that old scene from The Simpsons. And if you pause it at the right moment, you could see when his heart explodes. Right there. God, that was it with me. So sad. But yeah, So now, I'm curious to see where this is gonna go now. But now, on to the main show. Bobby Lashley, Apollo Crews, U.S. title match. Bobby leading at the start, you know, and Lashley just dictating the pace throughout the entire match. Now, Crews started to pick up some momentum as the match went on, but, you know, it wasn't one-sided, so... But it was a decent match. This was honestly the match I wanted at SummerSlam. I'm not saying Crews and Lashley, but I mean the way these two went was what I wanted Crews and MVP to do. And you can go back to last week's episode because I talked about it. It was a good match, just honest to God, I really hated the fact that they did not have that they had it on the pre-show. I thought that could have been at least an opening card for the main show. But either way, good enough match. Came to an end. Lashley popped into full Nelson. Got it. Win. Tap out. Your winner and new United States Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. So, yeah. 10 get you 20, we're going to be getting Lashley and Crews at Clash of Champions. That's my guess. If not him, then maybe Cedric. So, next matchup, we got Sheamus going against Big E. And Jimmy was working on E's knee through this whole match. I dug it. This was a damn good match. This was a good, solid, 2 big guys, boom, colliding type match. And it was damn good. I fucking like when that happens, you know? When you get 2 big guys colliding like that. I said it before. Probably one of my favorite type of matches to see is when you got the 2 big guys that are very athletic. That are athletic and can work. You know, you don't just put 2 big giants like a Kevin Nash and an Andre the Giant in there. Otherwise, it's going to look like a clusterfuck. But you get two athletic guys like Sheamus and Big E in there. Man, they put on a hell of a show. This was a damn good match. I fucking loved it. One thing in the commentary that did annoy me, and I know they got to do it, was when Cole was emphasizing on how Sheamus was softening up the knee because Sheamus was softening up the knee because he uses the Texas Cloverleaf submission. Okay, I don't know about anyone else, but I've been in the Texas Cloverleaf more times than I can count, and it has never once hurt my fucking knee. It hurts my fucking back. So don't go saying it soften up the knee for that. That's like softening up a knee for the goddamn sharpshooter. Why the hell are you gonna soften up a knee for a sharpshooter when you're bending someone's back like that? Just a personal thing. Yep. Either way, it was a good match, good solid match. I dug the shit out of it, and this was Big E's first big singles match, I would dare say, and he got the win, hitting the big ending right on Jimmy. 1, 2, 3. That was it. So your winner is Big E. Next matchup, we got Corbin versus Matt Riddle, and some folks took a little hard on how Corbin wound up making some snide comments to Matt Riddle via the Twitter about Matt's personal life, and some folks took it to heart. Some folks were like, some folks were writing full-blown articles on it and shit like, oh, WWE is now ruining wrestlers' personal lives by including this, and that. Dude, it's fucking, again, wrestling. Fucking soap opera, variety show, however you want to slice it. It's fucking entertainment. And if they can find a way to put a sense of reality in there in some type of way, even if it's not tied to the main aspect of the show, even if it's like through Twitter, just to rally up, just to get the internet fans all ruffled up, like, what? He said, oh, that motherfucker, I can't believe he said that. Ooh. Then they're doing their job. No different than when somebody like MJF calls someone a fat, zip-faced internet dork or whatever. Same thing. He's doing the same thing. He's pissing off the internet fan base just to get them riled up. No different than Corbin doing that. So, and not only that, 10 get you 20, he probably ran it by him like, yo, Matt, I wanted to run this, wanted to go and say this. I didn't want to, like, I don't want to cross any lines. That ain't cool. Is it okay if I do that? Got more than a feeling that got ran over. But, yeah, as far as this match, Corbin got a sucker punch, and then right from the start, he was leading the pace. It's a decent enough match, but honestly, like I said before, I'm just not a big fan of Corbin. Haven't been since he showed up on NXT. It just, something about the guy just, he's really not that appealing to me. And Matt, Riddle, he got the win by doing what they called the flying bro. It looked, I don't know, to me it kind of looked like a Phoenix Splash, but yeah, they called it the flying bro, and then yeah, he got the win, 1, 2, 3 also. And so next up we got women's tag team action. Excuse me. Sasha and Bayley going against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And a lot of people were shitting on this, saying like, well, they don't like each other. Why the fuck are they going to tag together? Last I checked, MVP and Matt Hardy didn't like each other, but they were tag teams. They were a tag team also. They were tag team champions. Sheamus and Cesaro did not like each other when they first started, but they were made into a tag team. Guys, it fucking happens. It's called story. You have two people that clash, that don't like each other. Well, I don't like you. Well, I don't like you. Well, you know what? You don't like each other? Fuck it. You two are being put to work together. Oh, fuck. Alright, fine. Just stay out of my way. You stay out of my way. One of those kind of stories. It's really fucking simple. I don't know, maybe it's because the way my brain's wired, and I swear to God, I'm like fucking Rain Man. I'm like wrestling Rain Man. You know, I see patterns and stories ways most people don't typically. But yeah, now Shayna, she was good right at the start, but then they wound up having Nia be the punching bag, which honestly makes sense because really, given the two, you can't really make Shayna be the punching bag because if she's supposed to be this big legit badass, she's already shown that she could take out 2 or 3 girls at one time. You're really going to tell me that Sasha and Bayley are going to make her the team punching bag, even if during a wrestling match, you know, you get she's had back and forth. Just yeah. But either way, decent enough. Decent match. I dug the shit out of it. Shayna got the hot tag, cleaned up house. Match came to an end, and I fucking love this ending right here. Shayna Baszler put on a Muda lock onto Sasha Banks and then popped on the Karabuta clutch onto Bayley. And then as Bayley's starting to wiggle free, Shayna then grabs Sasha's arm to wrap it around Bayley to choke her with, and then Bayley eventually taps out. So your winners and new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. So, yeah. Next up, we got Keith Lee going against Randy Orton. And this was really good. This was damn good. Nice, smooth start. I absolutely love the way Randy the way Randy looked like he was shook, like, holy shit, what the fuck? With this guy. What the fuck is up with this guy? Like he's never worked with a 300-pounder who's this agile, this nimble. And he was like, ooh, holy hell. This was a damn good match. I fucking loved it. If you don't got the network, highly recommend getting it. Watch the women's tag match and then this match. Fucking gold. I absolutely dug them. Those were my 2 big high points on this for this pay-per-view. You know? I fucking dug it. Match came to an end when Keith Lee hit the Spirit Bomb onto Randy Orton. 1, 2, 3. So, to everyone that says, oh, Randy always politicizes, he just does this, he does that. Randy Orton wound up fucking putting over a goddamn new guy in WWE. Not only that, you know, the following night on Raw, they wound up announcing they wound up doing several different matches to determine who's going to be in a triple threat to determine #1 contender for the WWE title at Clash. So the triple threat was Randy, Seth, and Keith Lee. Seth and Randy busted their ass and made Keith Lee look like $1,000,000 fucking bucks, which was absolutely fucking amazing. And I was all for it. And some people are like, well, you know, a high praise for the upper echelon talent to put over the younger talent. Dude, that's just fucking normal. That's fucking normal. You see that all the time. I mean, Christ. Case in point. This is really a real simple one. Chris Jericho beating Stone Cold and The Rock in one night. And I'm not talking Chris Jericho, oh, he's a new up-and-coming talent. No, he was a new guy given the amount of time he was in WWE. That's what I'm referring to. Shawn Michaels beating Bret Hart. Bret was a long-established talent main event guy by the time Shawn got the first world title win. When the boyhood dream came true. And all that. You know, it's just... It fucking happens constantly if you bother to stop and look. Read between the lines. Get out of that Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, Brad Shepard fucking bullshit, dirt sheet asshole view and actually watch it from like a fan perspective, and you'd be surprised on how much you'd see. You know? Either way, as far as that triple threat match that happened on Raw went, Randy got the win, so we're going to get Randy versus Drew at Clash, which makes perfect sense given that Randy wound up punting Drew 3 times about 2 weeks ago and gave him a skull fracture, they said. Or a minor skull, I think they said a skull fracture, I don't know. Either way, next up, tag match, Seth and Murphy going against Ray and Dominik. So this, Dominik right out the gate, you know, fairly good tag match. Ray, he was the team punching bag, and then Dominik was, which is real interesting to see, and I absolutely dug that because, you know, you got one person being the team punching bag, and then Dominik getting tagged in, thinking, oh, he's going to clean up house. He goes, does a crossbody. Next thing you know, Seth and Murphy, boom, go and put him on the ass end of an ass whooping, which was damn good. Which was a damn good surprise. Ray eventually gets the second hot tag. Ray gets a hot tag in, starts cleaning up. Damn good. It was pretty damn good. I fucking liked it. You know. Now the match came to an end when Seth had Dominik up for a buckle bomb. He was going to do a spiked buckle bomb where he hit the buckle and Murphy's kick at the same time. But as Seth was going, Dominik got out the way and threw Seth in. And Seth, boom, got caught with a kick from Murphy, which took Seth out of the match. And then Dominik wound up launching Ray into Seth. Like literally, he got his dad and just chucked him like he was doing midget tossing. And if anyone doesn't know what midget tossing is, trust me, that is one of the most fun things out there to do. I did that a lot when I was a teenager, and before anyone goes and says, "Oh, that's so unfair to them." Dude, the little guys were the ones that fucking set it up. They would charge us like $20 to go and throw them onto a Velcro wall to see who could go the highest or the farthest and all that. But Ray got tossed like he was doing midget tossing onto Seth through the outside, and then Dominik hit a 619 and then went up and did a frog splash right onto Murphy. The next night on Raw, Seth went all out on Murphy, chewing him out like a dad chewing out a kid. That was, not with the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed lecture. It was the, no, I'm straight up pissed off that you did this because you should have known better, young man, kind of yells, arguments. And if anyone out there listening that is a parent, you all know that kind of conversation you've had to have with a kid, because I've had to do that with my son once or twice. So now we come to main event of the night. The Fiend versus Strowman versus Roman. I say that with a question mark because at the end of SmackDown last week, Roman did not sign the contract just yet, and it ended with a big, huge twist where he was sitting side by side with none other than my savior, Paul Heyman. So as much as I say I am a Paul Heyman guy, Roman Reigns is now a Paul Heyman guy. And Fiend came out, then Strowman came out, and then them two started fighting. Referee's discretion to start the match. And Braun attacked the Fiend during his entrance. Not while he was doing the slow walk down the ramp, but more so once he got to the ring. That's when. And the match, just them two were just straight up brawl clusterfuck like last week at SummerSlam, except this time nothing going into the back. It was all contained ringside, which if they're going to do any no DQ matches or street fights, honestly, they need to keep it contained there. Unless they have spots specifically planned, because that Falls Count Anywhere match between Strowman and Fiend at SummerSlam just felt really awkward. But either way, Roman was kept out of the match for a large portion of it, and albeit it made perfect sense storyline wise, and I'll get to that. Roman does eventually show up when Strowman and Fiend wind up doing a superplex, which makes the ring implode, and then Charles Robinson does rock level type selling and then flips himself over to the outside of the ring and is fully incapacitated. Then that's when Roman's music hits. He walks out with Paul Heyman, chair in one hand, Heyman holding the contract. Roman gets a pen, signs it, and then comes on down, starts throwing chair shots galore at everyone, and then yells, Paul, give me a ref. Ref comes down, and then just as the Fiend's going for a mandible claw onto Roman, boom, he kicks the Fiend right in the balls, and then spears Braun Strowman 1, 2, 3. That is it, and your winner and new Universal Champion, which can't really argue on because the man had to relinquish the Universal title because he had to deal with a bout of leukemia and never got a chance to really try and claim it back once he was in remission. And now that he is back once again, the king is atop of his throne, so to say, and he's got Paul Heyman with him. So yes, that is it for this week's show, folks. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Thank you to my executive producer, Ollie Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check out his stuff. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. It's also out there on the YouTube. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. So a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. @SomeMillion, Kenny Keller, DSB_IV, Diabolica RAN, Sergeant Curry Pants, and folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.